Welcome back to Hicks Racing Podcast. I am Jessica Hicks.
And I am Matt Hicks.
And our sponsors, as always, are Woody's Ale House and Grille out of Towanda, PA, Hicks RV Repair, AOT Racing, MR Dirt Inc., and you can reach us at our social media handles for Twitter and Instagram and Facebook at Hicks Racing 123 and our website hicksracing.net. All right, welcome back to Hicks Racing Podcast, episode 11.
Welcome back, everybody.
We're recording this on July 5th, but the weekend we are discussing on the podcast is Burlington Motor Park, which took place June 24th through the 26th. Yep. So first off, hats off to Bench Racers Guild because they recommended the new microphones that we are using, and I'm currently liking the audio quality.
Yeah, we had that's our episode 12 will come out. We did an interview. They interviewed us. We interviewed them.
Yep.
Episode with them, and had a really good time.
Yeah, they were super nice.
They were super cool.
It was very nice to talk to them.
It was really cool to talk to them.
I hope that we see them at Palmyra the next time we go.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, props to them, and that episode will be coming out July 8th. And this episode we are currently doing is going to be out July 6th, so tomorrow.
Okay.
This episode might be a longer one. It's
we're just going to discuss.
Yeah, we're going to discuss. So this is a new
and how the track was.
Burlington Motor Park is a new motocross track. We got there. Did we go? We went Friday because it's not far from our house. It's like 20 minutes from our
15,
house.
20 minutes.
So we were kind of excited about that part. And this is going to be constructive criticism, but like good points too.
We're going to do our normal thing.
It's all I want to give an honest opinion on it.
Absolutely. We're just going to go over how our weekend was.
So again, and we also have to. We got there Friday. Not many people there, but again, brand new facility for motocross. So I wasn't really expecting that many people to begin with. No. Plus, you're also in an area that's kind of a no man's land.
Yeah, for motocross, it's kind of
like people in PA either stay down in PA, which is like 2 hours down for other tracks, or they're up in New York, 2.5 hours north.
Yep.
So they're kind of like, with the price of gas, they're like, I'll just stay in my area. Yep. So we camped Friday night.
It was hot as heck.
That was a horribly hot weekend.
Hot as Hades.
But actually not even as hot as this past weekend. So.
I don't think.
No, it was definitely like 10 degrees hotter this past weekend.
Wow.
Clinton County was nuts. So we got there Friday night and just kind of hung out and talked to the track owner was there. You kind of helped him with it. Yep. Kind of talked to him for a little bit. And we did get to do our camping, which is always fun. People were like, "Oh, why are you camping 20 minutes away?" And I'm like, "Cause I love camping.
We enjoy
Plus, it's easier."
It's so funny. We hate camping. You always tell me.
I like my camping.
Right. We
like my camping.
We do it. We enjoy. Yeah, we enjoy getting out of the house, and we enjoy just chilling at the camper.
Yeah, it's easier for me because I don't have to rush around and get stuff ready and pack this and pack that. I already have everything packed in there.
Right.
So Saturday morning, you actually went to work for a little bit. Wow. So I was there with Lucas and watching practice.
Practice started at 11.
Well, it was supposed to start at 9. Was it 9?
No, it was 11. It was going to start at 11 o'clock. All right, no, you're right.
Yeah,
it started at 9, but it didn't start till 9:30 or 10.
I think it started at like 10ish.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why it was.
Because I was going to work till 11.
But there was probably I don't know how many bikes you think were there.
There might have been 20, 25 bikes there total.
Yeah, which again we thought.
Was it?
So let's back up a little bit. Friday night, because you've raced motocross for quite a long time, and we've been around a lot of tracks. So you were trying to give some advice.
Yeah.
In regards to the track, because it's not a large motocross track. No. It's not the normal size of a motocross track. And I understand. Yeah, I understand. There's kind of two sides to this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because from his point of view,
he doesn't want.
He's saying, with the money and equipment right now, with fuel and equipment,
dump a bunch of money in and then tear up a lot of ground if something wasn't.
A lot of ground.
Right, if it wasn't going to be.
Because, so for this entire thing, we'll use Area 51 as our comparison. Okay. Yeah. How many acres do you think Area 51 encompasses as just the track, not any?
Just the track. God, that's got to be 15, 20 acres, that track.
You think?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, this one was 1.5.
Yeah. So that's your first perspective there. So it's not a full-size motocross track. I think I would have more called it a supercross track.
What he did was, most motocross tracks are spread out over a 10-acre span of land, and he kind of overlapped back and forth, like a supercross track, where you don't have that in motocross. So even though it may only have been 1.5 or 2 acres, it was a 30-second lap time compared to most.
Okay, well, for you.
Well, it was a 30-second lap time compared to most motocross tracks are a minute and a half.
More than that sometimes, yeah,
right,
depending on what you're doing.
So
I think first off, there we should have called it a supercross track.
But it didn't have the big jumps. It didn't have big jumps at all.
Right, I'm just saying, but it's definitely not motocross. I would at the very least call it a supercross track, or arena cross. You can call it an arena cross track.
Not.
So, but so from that perspective, don't call it a motocross track yet. So from his perspective, I get it, putting in all of that, all that acreage and all that time and all that equipment and that money just off the bat to be in an area where you don't really know if people are going to come out. So I understand that part of it.
Right. But
on the other hand,
my perspective was, if you're going to have people, come there, and it's not going to be something people want to ride. They're not going to come back
because they're thinking
they're not going to talk. They're not going to talk it up to their friends to get more people to come.
Well, and then when they hear motocross track,
right,
they think of Pavilion, Area 51, Palmyra, Stick Brothers, Miles Mountain, High Voltage.
Right.
They're thinking that.
Right.
So they're thinking, ooh, motocross track. Oh, it's close by. I'm going to go there for the weekend and practice instead of going 2 hours. So I think that's the double-edged sword. So, you don't want to spend all that money when you don't know the outcome. But then for them, they're this isn't a motocross track, and I'm a little bit disappointed right now.
Right.
Plus the way. So did he tear it up?
He did. He dissed it up. And I think, and from talking, from Friday, well, actually Thursday when we went down there Thursday just to look at the track. From Thursday when I talked to him all the way, it was in his ear constantly. This needs to be ripped up. You need to chisel plow it and then disc it. And I'm just going to disc it. And at one point he wanted to use the same prepping tool that he uses on his tractor pulling track. And I'm like, dude, no motocross guy, no motocross track promoter. He was going to roll in the track with this thing, and then he said, it would be, and I'm like, that is going to be so hard packed,
which is not what a motocross rider is used to.
I will say, what he has going for him over anything is that ground is amazing.
Oh yeah,
when he most beautiful soil.
Yeah. No rocks.
Would die to have that. Not a rock in.
I don't know how he managed that one.
Anywhere. So, but he had that going for him because it would have been a lot worse. Because he tore it up, but then he was having problems with his tractor that was pulling the discs. Saturday night, he was having problems with them. Yeah,
was it Saturday night?
Saturday night, he was having problems with them.
So I think that's the second thing is
watering system. So
you need to get opinions from bigger tracks, not just one bigger track, but I'm sure that other tracks in this area, if you called them, they would say, "Hey, can I please get some advice?"
He had Tom Hurt here helping a little bit, and I think maybe Tom got into his ear a little bit. And so maybe he'll make some good changes.
Yeah, because a normal track is tore up.
Yeah.
And not flat at all.
By Sunday, end of the race Sunday, it was hard, packed, dusty.
Very dusty.
Bad. But. Yeah.
So, again, constructive criticism. So, he hasn't done motocross tracks before. So, hopefully taking advice from other.
He said that he had learned a lot and that he would.
Oh, for sure, you're going to learn a lot.
He'd make definite improvements. I haven't seen I haven't seen him release anything.
Well, I think because the weekend after that, then they had a demo derby.
This past weekend, he demo derby. And
so I think they've just been busy with that stuff.
Yep.
Because I would like to see it, gradually improve, start improving the track first. The track you have.
And here's the thing. We will 100% support him.
We'll
go back. You did your first race. Was awesome. High fives to you.
I practiced. See, that's what I liked about this track.
Yeah, it was easy for you.
It was because on Saturday I practiced because the jumps aren't so horrifying like at all these other bigger tracks we go to, and I could roll them. There was that one rutted spot out back, but it wasn't that bad. So it was comfy for me. I'm still getting practice and I'm still getting used to the
Right.
bike, but
Yep.
it's not so terrifying.
Yep.
But then for someone like you, who's
Yeah.
rather fast,
Well, yeah.
you know, it's kind of like, you know, like I'm used
Compared
to
I guess.
these, you know, motocross
Yeah.
tracks that are huge and they're rutted and they're, which is normal motocross.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
what I did was not normal motocross.
Right.
It's
Right.
because I'm not, you know, I'm a
Right.
beginner.
Right.
Um,
But anyway, as long as we still seek, you know, next time we go there, as long as there's steady improvements,
Yeah.
as long as he's trying, I will 100%.
Yeah, I mean,
support
like-
him.
like
And
Rome
I
wasn't
hope
built in
other
a day.
people will too. No, exactly.
like when we always say like, oh, Area 51's so great, but I bet you whenever Area 51 started, which is what 30 years ago,
Yeah.
it was probably not very
Right,
nice. It was
yeah.
probably just it was the track and that was it.
Right.
And he built up to having the
The-
beautiful spectating area
Right, that he
and the
has.
camping
Yep.
spots and the night cross
And he,
track
he learned
and the beginner
improved
track.
and made improvements on how he builds his jumps and all that stuff.
Yeah. So I think that he should get with other local quote tracks, local being like 2 hours away, and you know just talk to them and have people
Miles
come down.
Mountain's only an hour away. I don't know.
Right,
if that
but I'm
guy's
saying other ones.
available or
I said
or
more than
even-
just one.
or even just stick with Tom Hurd's helping him a little bit. Stick with Tom Hurd helping
Right.
him, but you know.
So I think that first we need to start off with just improving the track the way it is now.
Yeah.
So and don't worry about building more jumps and stuff like that, but know how to tear up the track.
That I do hope and I do think he's going to expand the track a little bit. I think he's going to make it a little bit bigger, and I hope he does add some jumps and the jumps he has, he'll build up the faces a little bit.
Well, he needs to make
More,
like
but-
to be a motocross track.
Yeah,
He needs to add
yeah,
some major
yeah.
jumps. Major.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah.
Now, the only thing that does stink is that he doesn't have a lot of natural elevation there.
No.
So he's gonna have to build him off
Yeah,
from scratch.
he'll have to, yep.
So
He'll have to
that
move
will
dirt.
suck.
Right. But he can move dirt. I mean.
Yeah, no,
he's
I'm
got
just saying
dozers,
it's just
he's
more
got
work.
Stuff and yeah, absolutely.
So you know, from that perspective.
And it doesn't even have to be a huge improvement. Just make some improvements.
Oh yeah, I'm totally okay with that.
And he's got a beautiful, there's lots of space there. There's lots of space for the track. There's lots of space there for camping. But he doesn't need to have a big pavilion and all that stuff. Just make improvements to the track.
No.
He still has room for the camping. He's actually lucked out in a lot of ways. He's got beautiful ground.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a creek that runs right there that he can pull water from for his watering system. He's got an area out by the creek that he could run the track and run out by there if he cleared the land back there. So then he's got some shade.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a lot of things going for him. So I hope he keeps improving.
Yeah, for sure. And this is not from a perspective where we're saying we know everything.
No,
that's for
absolutely
damn
not.
sure. Because
No.
if
I
we
told
build a
them-
track on the outside of our track, we would be I don't even know where to start.
We have our little home track here, and
right, but it's by no means.
And I had a guy come build that. So,
yeah. We by no means.
Right, and not
know
by
everything.
and I told him all weekend long. I said, I reiterated many times, I'm not telling you what to do. I don't know everything. I just know what I see when I go to a
and I think that
bigger motocross.
That was another issue. Was a lot of people who were at this track that were coming were hair scramble riders.
Well, I was gonna say, that's where he lucked out to have the bikes he had there.
Right.
That
Because of
weekend
hair scramble riders.
because there was no hair scramble Winoa race that weekend.
Which I am not
'cause he had
against.
bikes
Not
are
against
bikes.
hair scramble riders
No.
at all.
No.
But when you're building a motocross track,
Yeah.
you need to
It's
take
hard to
advice
take
from
advice from
motocross
I
riders
believe you're-
and other motocross
I believe
track
you're right
owners.
there. Yeah.
Because they're completely different.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't ever give advice to a hair scramble track because I'm clueless.
I do know, from what I understand, a lot of the top cross country racers, and I'm gonna top because I see them on Instagram and stuff. But a lot of them, they practice on motocross tracks because it's so hard to have a big cross country.
Oh, God,
loop,
yeah.
So they.
To do
But
that.
at the same time, but I do agree. I mean,
Right, they still don't race
what they
motocross.
want to see in a track and what a motocross guy wants to see in a track
Right.
are going to be two different things.
Yeah, so I think that's another issue possibly
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
And I think so. And another thing that came up was I think people were a little bit disappointed in the track in general, just because it wasn't motocross.
I will say, and I agree, but the overwhelming number of people I talked to that were there was probably 50 bikes there. everybody had a good time.
Oh
And
yeah,
they were
that
all,
I'm not
you
saying
know,
we didn't have a good time.
And I think a lot of that was because it was predominantly cross country racing guys, and they were okay without the big jumps.
Right, because
You
but
know,
that's
they
not a
were-
motocross
right,
track then.
right, but yeah, if there may have been 4 or 5 actual motocross racers there, including ourselves. Had there been more, I think there would have been more people unhappy.
Oh
maybe
yeah,
a little bit.
for sure.
Unhappy is maybe too harsh a word, but a little let down on the track.
So I think that, like, of course we had fun. Like, I'm not again not saying we didn't have fun, but sustainably for him to continue
if he wants.
growing,
Yeah.
because you're not gonna make money off 50 riders every week.
No.
So in order to continue growing, you're gonna have to take advice from motocross
and
riders.
to continue growing and bring in a good crowd of motocross guys. You're going to have to do something different.
Yeah,
for sure.
Totally.
You're going to have to make
which I know he knows.
Had there been a cross country race, a Winoa race that weekend, I think he might have had 10 or 15 bikes.
Yeah, there was a lot of cross country guys there.
It was 90%, 95%, even. So that, but was good. I'm glad he lucked out in that workout. So.
And I will, and then there were a lot of people who were, because he didn't have a gate, which again, this one's a double-edged sword too, because he was like, I don't want to spend the money on a gate because they are insanely expensive.
She's talking about a starting gate.
Yes.
Yeah,
sorry.
that's all right.
I didn't, and which I'm like, yeah, good point. Like, they're at least $3,000, and then you're looking at like, I don't even know if I'm gonna have enough people to make $3,000 back.
Right.
But then on the other hand,
he would not have, that's for sure.
No.
But if you're going to invest in yourself, I guess. But at the same time, if you never have enough, you know.
Right.
So.
But then on the other hand, then you have people who are like, oh, where's the starting gate? What the heck?
Right.
So it's like,
but there again,
I don't know. Like, I understand both
sides. But there
sides.
again, it was 95% cross country guys, and they don't use starting gates
right.
anyway.
But again, then you're not.
Right.
You're not gearing towards a motocross.
And I
track.
do think even the cross country guys wanted to see a gate.
Yeah.
For this, but but it worked out.
Yeah, I mean, so I raced. I don't even want to call it that. I rode Sunday in the women's class because it was just 2 people, and I was like, okay, that's perfect for me. I can get some time in and get the nerves out of my system because it just makes me so nervous. But of course, they put us with schoolboy.
Yeah, I don't quite understand that.
that was kind of painful.
But,
because it's women. It wasn't beginner.
No,
it wasn't
it was women.
girls.
Yeah, but normally, I was gonna say normally they put a women's class with a 40C or a 50.
I think that's another. That was another thing. Was
guys, and then the 40 class they put all A, B, and C on the same gate.
Mm-hmm. See, that's another issue. I think is they needed somebody there.
With the one expert, there was someone there that they had girls there that had done it before, but I just think they were trying to figure out where to put them. And like I said, they put the plus 40 A, B, and C. I don't know if there was a plus 40 A guy there. But an expert, they had one expert there. They put him with the 40 B and C. Mm-hmm. There was 2 Bs. There was some C guys. I think it was 7, 8 guys.
Yeah, and so here's the next thing: is they didn't do separate. I want to say gate drops, but
no,
they didn't do separate drops.
Right.
Which
class.
is odd because that never happens.
No, normally.
But 2, even if you did do it, it wouldn't matter because the track was small, so you were lapping no matter what.
Right.
So, like, when I was in women's, I was getting lapped, of course, by schoolboy, and I just held my line. I just had to pray that I wasn't going to get murdered.
There was no real issues there.
No. So, I think, another thing, like, learning how to
have double
schedule your classes
and
how
like
to.
I said, Tom Hurd was there helping, and I saw, and I think Tom said he had, from what I understand, he brought some people down to help. Maybe he didn't. Maybe that didn't happen. I thought that's what they said. There did seem to be 2 or 3 people there helping. I want to say ladies, but maybe it had been some guys there too. But it looked like there was 2 or 3 people there that actually had an idea of what they were doing.
Okay.
There was a lady there from AMA, so I mean there was some people that knew what they were doing.
Was there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Well, the girl that raced me in women, she actually raced Across quite a bit down in Bloomsburg.
And Evansville.
Yeah.
I think she was there with someone that knew that had an idea what they were doing.
So her husband, and I don't recall their names at the moment. Sorry, guys. Because I actually talked to her after.
You guys friended on Facebook.
Yeah,
right?
yep. So he was helping too. But
Yeah.
so there wasn't that many classes. Like what they did was like they had a whole list of classes, and then you went from there because I think they were just trying to figure out. Well, we don't even know the scope
and they weren't,
of what classes are going to be out here, which is that makes sense.
And there wasn't a whole lot of people there, and they weren't going to have, they weren't going to have 20 races. They weren't going to have 20 separate races.
Right.
20 classes.
Yeah, I'm okay with
them
being
together,
on the same.
I think there was only 8.
Yeah,
motos
I'm okay with being on the same gate as another class, but put me with a class I'm not going to.
That there may not have been a better.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Like I said, it worked out.
Yeah, and another thing that didn't bother us because we're used to it, but did bother people in this area was the price, which I think that's just for lack of their knowledge. I don't know what Wainoa charges to get in and to race.
No, it's the same.
So then what was the big hype?
I have no idea.
Because it's
maybe because it was the first race and things wasn't going to be the kind of show. And that's again two ways of looking at it, double-edged sword, however you want to put it.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of understand that it was his first race and it wasn't a great it wasn't a normal show you would see for $15 to get in.
Right.
So
charge $8.
Yeah, but at the same time,
then you're not making your money.
Trying to make some money so we can improve. So it's that you
because we're used to spending $15 at the gate, and then it's $30 a class, $30 for practice, $30 for class.
Yep, a class.
So like that didn't really make us flinch because we were like, okay, this is normal. But also from other people's perspective, the track is a lot smaller.
Right.
So maybe you should have lowered the entry fee to 10 even.
Yeah. And you were only watching 8 total races. You were you were only watching 50 bikes as opposed to 400 bikes.
Yep.
I mean, so you can understand.
I just know that seeing from the comments on Facebook, there was a lot of be like, oh my gosh. I'm like, but I'm also wondering how many people were just live in this area who wanted to go out and watch. Was like, oh my gosh, $15. And it's like that's normal.
And maybe if he had been at $10 instead of $15, the normal going rate for a 400 bike, weekend. Maybe he'd have got more locals to come.
I don't know. Yeah,
maybe you could have sparked some interest in race. More, they might have went back and thought they came and watched it for $10 and thought, man, maybe I ought to get a bike and race here. Mm-hmm. No way.
Right, because that's another thing is that if you're a beginner, that track is nicer because it's smaller and it's not as intimidating as all these other tracks. Yep. But at the same time, again, like then not a motocross track, then you're not attracting normal motocross riders. Right. Who are going to come out? They're going to be going to big places. Yeah. So it's like a double-edged sword both ways.
Well, in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is by no means saying like.
Makes me glad I'm not a promoter.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't want to do it in a million years.
No.
So I mean, like even props to him, even
absolutely
starting this because you're in you're in Tawanda. It's not a not a popular thing around here. So
I really hope he continues. And
I hope so too. Because I would love to practice there for myself because it's nice for me being a beginner.
Yep. So. And it's nice, we have a probably half that size motocross track in our backyard, and it's a fun little track to get some laps in.
For me, especially, just because it's not.
Even for me, it can be. You get some laps in. It's something to ride, but it's nice to go somewhere else, and it'd be nice to have a track close by.
I know that. So they're doing a 4-race. Series there is what he said.
I hope, but again, and I understand that this weekend was the demo stuff, but you need to get these dates out so people can get advertising.
You need to get the dates out, and I think above all as well, I think he needs to get practice days out.
Yeah,
because even those Wainoa riders are going to go out and practice like every Wednesday from 5 to 9. You can come and practice for $15.
Right.
And then get some laps on the track, and then get criticism and say, hey, like this jump is doing this, and you need to add more, like blah, whatever.
Right.
Then you can fix it for that next weekend, and then you have money coming in when you're not having a race.
Right. Yep.
At least a little bit of money anyway.
Right.
Nothing fantastic.
Right.
But I know I would like to do the other races because it's a track that I can practice on and get used to more.
I believe we will.
I know. I mean, you had an easy weekend. You killed it.
Yeah, and I will. I will say at first I was like, we definitely come back here as long as Area 51 or Pavilion. But at second thought, on second thought, you had a great time. I definitely want to support this, support him so he can grow. So we'll go back.
As long as there are no major races on it, like
Right.
we want to do the Can-Am at Area 51. We
Yeah,
want to do,
100%.
we have a couple big races that we're
Yeah.
doing. So, if it's not interfering with any of those, we'll probably go.
Right.
But plus, it's
And
just so close. That
It's so it's yep.
that is appealing just by itself for us. But no, so I obviously had my first race this weekend. Again, I don't really want to call it a race because I didn't really race it. I was
It was
just
a
out
race.
there.
You were out there
I was dying.
during a race.
I was dying.
It was hot.
Because it was hot. It was what,
And you're-
90?
Yeah, you're not. You want. Yeah. So you always wonder why I train with a sweatshirt and a stocking hat on in the middle of summer.
I'm gonna
That's
need
why.
more than that. I think I'm gonna need my full snowsuit, a winter coat, and a
You get out there
hat,
and get training.
and then 45 minutes on the treadmill
Yeah.
because I was dying. And then so Moto 1. I mean, I just held my line. That's all I
you
did
did
because
good.
I was getting lapped and I was just trying to not get jumped on or anything.
Right.
But Moto 2, then my bike died.
Yeah. The old 150 let us
I was
down.
like, damn it.
First time ever.
I was
the
like,
old-
I
Yep.
finally got over the first Moto nerves because I was so nervous
Yep.
because I had never raced, and I was like, oh great, now I'm finally in my groove, like learning and focusing, and then the bike dies.
Yep.
So-
that bike has never, at all. We've had that.
Well, she
we've had
needs
that
some
bike
maintenance.
for 7 years, I think,
Yeah.
and it has never let us down. And it's just basically lack of maintenance. Since it stopped being raced, it hasn't. It's just been rode and rode, and not been worked on at all. So,
Yeah.
but
And hopefully, since that race, we actually switched. We sold Lucas's KTM 50 and got him a PW 50.
yeah, yep.
Because it's smaller for him, so hopefully we'll be using that.
Yeah,
more.
hopefully a little more he'll be.
Because it seems to be a little bit tamer. And
Yep, he does seem
more
to
his
ride a little
size.
better. He need to get back on it.
Yeah.
but-
So.
Yeah, he's a 4-year-old. I was hoping he'd be the next prodigy.
Give
but
him,
it's just,
like after 5, like once he
Yeah.
his 5, I think
yeah,
he'll start
and I think if
focusing
I just
more.
and
But
I'm
4,
afraid if I push him and we push him, I'm afraid it's gonna go the other way. So let him play with his trains and
yeah.
he-
I mean, yeah, he is
yep.
4. He's gonna play with
Yep.
other stuff too. So.
Yep. So
But yeah, I mean, we had fun there.
We had a good time.
It was still a good time.
Yep.
Obviously, some constructive criticism.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll go back for
100%.
my sake.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just so that I
Yep.
can ride.
Yep.
But yeah, hopefully we'll.
Yeah.
and then-
We'll definitely go back. It was
So we're releasing this episode July 6th, and then we have another podcast coming out the 8th, our interview with Bench Racers Guild.
Yep.
And then we'll have another one out on
Yeah, we're doing
July 13th.
We're going to be doing USMX
Yes.
Thornwood this coming weekend.
Yep. So we're going to Thornwood this coming weekend, because we're going camping nearby for the week after, so it's just
She
closer.
is. I've got to work, unfortunately, that week. But
Well, technically, I'm
her and the
working 3
boys,
those days.
yeah, her and the boys are gonna do the Bass Lake right there by Thornwood.
Yep. So we'll
We haven't done any USMX races this year yet, so
Yep.
this
So
will be a good time.
that'll be the next 2 episodes. So, all right. Well,
All right.
peace out.
Peace out, people.